Hey guys, I want to welcome you to the weekly Wednesday for the Financial Freedom newsletter, where every week, every Wednesday, we delve into something inspirational, motivational, something excerpt taken from the Financial Freedom weekly newsletter. Wherever you are, if you're listening on Spotify, on iTunes, Google, be sure to click the like, subscribe, share, comment. And without ado, let's get into the show. Welcome everybody to this week's podcast episode for the Financial Freedom Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Christopher Liu. And as you know, I talk about 4 different types of freedom: time, financial, location, health freedom. And I'm always scouring the globe looking for entrepreneurs, thought leaders on the cutting edge, making an impact. So today's topic is going to be all about Web3. And I have a special guest here, Clemens from Vienna, Austria, and it's going to be a great conversation. He helps Web3 companies to improve their customer experience. He's got an economics background, really fascinating, and I'm happy to welcome him to the show. Welcome.
Thanks for having me, Christopher. It's an honor to be here.
Real quick, founders of Web3 companies, metaverse, blockchain, they have these very interesting backgrounds, especially in economics. Tell people how you got started, and we'll go from there.
Oh, wow, how I get started. So the whole story, it's almost 12 years ago. So how did I get started, with the whole crypto and metaverse thing? So in my youth, I was very interested into gaming. So I played an online game, which was called Guild Wars. It's the same as World of Warcraft. I assume everybody knows World of Warcraft. So everyone has now a picture in mind. And when I played this game, I did 2 things. So one thing, I used bots to farm items in this game, to resell them on eBay, to get some pocket money. And on the other side, what I did in these games, I start trading the items within this game and buy them at the lower price and sell them at the higher price. So, and then later I expanded this business. So I realized I could do the same with computer games, with these gaming keys that you need to activate these games. So I bought them at one store and sold them at another store. And this was my first touch point with customer service. And I still cannot believe until today, why people went on some forum and bought the keys for me. And I did customer service. And I think I gained within 2 or 3 years, almost 200 reviews, 5.0 stars. So almost perfect. I think I never got a disappointed customer. So this was really amazing. But I relied very heavily on one payment method, so PaySafe card. So not want to say anything against them. They were great, but at some point they introduced some change of rules, so some KYC and ML rules, as we know from crypto today. So even back then I had the same struggle. So then I got this issue with how I can process the payments quickly. And then a friend of mine showed me Bitcoin. And it was in 2013, and back then, everything was really small, and it was after the Morgox collapse. So people were really pessimistic about it. But nevertheless, in Germany, I had the luck there was one marketplace around, and I did then my first trade. So I bought for 10 euros, 0.1 Bitcoin. So really amazing and really funny that I bought with 10 euros because my youth, I didn't have more money. So this was the money that I had to invest in crypto. I think I invested then a little bit more later. And then in this first hype, I really got lucky. So I got out at this $1,000 or €1,000, but it was back then, it was pure luck, nothing to do with my skills. But nevertheless, I discovered Bitcoin then. And then I was how does this thing work? So I had 2 choices what to do. One was studying computer science, and the other one was doing pure economics. But with computer science, you need a lot of maths and everything. And then I decided for pure economics, just to realize you also need a lot of maths and physics and everything. Same thing. So I did this for a few years, also wrote my thesis about it. And then the same friend who told me about Bitcoin back then, he then told me about Bitpanda, who published a job. And for everyone who doesn't know Bitpanda, and Bitpanda is the European equivalent to Coinbase. So then I scaled up the customer service from almost nothing to up to 130 people. We became a unicorn, very successful. And then half a year ago, the same friend who introduced me to Bitcoin, who brought me to Bitpanda, now we started a company together. So you can see Like we are really working on this crypto thing through all their ups and downs together. And now we are providing like 4 services to founders. So the first thing, what we realized, especially for like CFOs, they have very often hard time to understand why they should invest in customer service. So we help customer service team translate numbers like, I don't know, we have 100 tickets in backlog, but nobody can really imagine like, is it a lot, is it less? So we translate it in financial number. So that's the first thing what we do. The second thing what we do, we help people like with customer retention. So that they can just keep the customer. Of course, we also help with customer acquisition. And the last point is like ease of use, what brings us also back like to the metaverse topic. So having like everything like frictionless embedded within the product. And this is like where I also see like the future of customer service, especially in the metaverse. When you need help in the metaverse, you don't want to go out on some website and close everything or take off your VR headset. You want to get help within the metaverse.
This is very fascinating because I have a similar story. We have because I went to school with Brian Armstrong, and back then.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and we went to Rice University together. We were acquainted through social circles, and I got into Bitcoin through Coinbase. That was when I purchased my first Bitcoins. Like I said, it's all it's really, this area is so fascinating because there's like so much work being done, and it's like people with like computer science, economics, some of the smartest minds are working in this field. And I know it's gotten a lot of bad rap with bad actors and scams, but there's a lot of people doing some really good work there. But and then he told me about Ethereum, so I got into it. But this is really fascinating. I'm really glad we were able to connect. This whole area. So tell us more about AI, because I know ChatGPT came and customer support and tell us more.
Yeah, so ChatGPT was really like a game changer. I think it really gave me like even direction in life, what I want to do. So luckily I did something with AI before, also doing my time at Bitpanda. We made like dashboards where the feedback was collected, and then like it was like based on sentiment, volume. So the product manager knew like where to search for the issues, or we had like real-time alerts. So for instance, customers talking on social media, help, I'm getting scammed or whatever. And then we get like a real-time alert in Slack because it's a sensitive topic. So these were the things that we do. But when you talk about Ethereum, I have like one question for you. So did you also notice back then like the thing with the hard fork with Ethereum Classic and Ethereum, and like what was your feeling about then? Because this was something for me, I totally stayed away from Ethereum and then like stick to Bitcoin. And I think this is like maybe one of the few regrets that I have in my crypto life.
Yeah, no, the reason what appealed to me with Ethereum was it sounded, the way it was described, it was a decentralized internet, all the major applications, Web3, DeFi, non-fungibles would be building, and that's where all the developers were going. And so just from a use case standpoint, it's cheap back then. I think it was like a couple dollars or whatnot. And just from basically a network adoption, network effects, that's why I went into it. And because mainly with all these new technologies, it's who's going to have the market share. And then, then the value gets teased out. But that's what attracted to me. But Ethereum, the fees were they were outrageous. I'm worse than like Western Union, and it was like kind of like why am I using it if the fees are so high? It's like kind of defeats the purpose. But now with the merge, it's actually gone down significantly, so it's much better.
Yeah, that's also the thing. Like I have like some friends which are trading like full time. They showed me at some point how much they spent in their life, like on Ethereum gas fees. And I think like, okay, you cannot tell like anyone in real life, like with a regular job, like I paid like in some virtual network, like a few thousands only on gas fees. I think there was like once like this airdrop. Yeah. This airdrop was based on like the used gas fees. Like this was also crazy because then people all flexed like how much they spent on gas fees.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. And then especially like when there was one NFT drop with the other side deed, and it was like the gas fees, I heard it was like $2,000, $3,000. I was like, this is outrageous, that's crazy.
They're like the one from ApeCoin, like, or from the Bored Apes, like this other side. Like
Yeah,
2,000. Wow, I didn't know.
yeah, it was nuts. I was like, this is outrageous, So but people paid those fees, and it was just crazy. But yeah, so talk about, like, for example, the customer experience, Web3, especially crypto, kind of because you typically customer experience was like you called into somebody, or now it's like a chat bot. So how is customer experience evolving with like Web3, AI, crypto, all of this?
So maybe let's talk about like ChatGPT, what they did so amazing, because like before then, before ChatGPT was released, the major chatbots, they couldn't read like the whole conversation. They only related to the last message. And this is like why ChatGPT is doing so great. It understands like the whole conversation. So like with chatbots before, they were like not like capable of doing so. And I think that's what makes like the great success. But overall, what's also important, people usually don't like to talk to an AI, especially when they know it. And then like they get like a proper solution, but you tell it it's like delivered by AI, and then like the customer satisfaction drops. So for instance, there was like a case study where like customer support team was replaced by ChatGPT, and it didn't tell the customer, and the CSAT ratings were actually better because like, of course, the AI never gets tired, gets all the context, gets all the information together. Of course, when the AI, talking also about the limitations, needs to create something new, that's what an AI cannot do. So people also need to be aware of that limitation. And I really believe that like to a certain degree, AI can like enhance the customer agents and or like the community agents or like the people who are actually serving the customers, and not like replacing them. Because in the end, you will always need like a human touch. Of course, there are like then people who say like you can create like virtual voices, virtual avatars, but that's maybe a little bit too much in the future, even if we already see that. Yeah, let's see how it will work out.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, especially talking to Amazon customer service, and especially, like, for example, I just recently sent some feedback to Chipotle, and basically it was all through a bot, and they gave me some, freebies and rebates, and it was all done through a bot. It was like quite very interesting. And then like if you can't resolve it, then it basically escalates to a human.
That's the key to success with AI. You need always give them a way to quickly escalate to a human. If you can provide it, then feel free to go for a chat. But if you cannot do that, then maybe go for a contact form. Also, on social media, for some reason, people are okay with chatbots, but like on your FAQ page, people are less likely okay with it. And also regarding collecting feedback, the key to collecting feedback as like manager is make the feedback in a way that it's less effort to fill out the survey and give the feedback instead of like closing the window. So that's like the key to success of collecting feedback.
Yeah. What overall support trends do you see in the customer service industry? You give some examples, and what kind of trends are you seeing?
To be honest, the customer support industry is not that innovative. It's like very often like repeating in cycles, and trends are coming back. So the first thing what I see is like this omni-channel support. People want to write on their preferred social media channel. So talking about like Web3, where maybe can also give out like a shout out here. I'm not really working with them together. It's like mava.app, so that we can also give like some Web3 examples. What they are doing, they are implementing options to contact customer support via Discord, Twitter, and so on. And they connect it with on-chain data so that you can also identify the customer. Because the biggest issue, what we always had as customer support team, and somebody is writing to us on social media, we don't really know if it's really the person who they pretend to. And especially in industry with like a lot of scams, then you always have to tell them, please contact us by email. And they are like, no, I'm angry. I want to complain on Twitter in public because I think I have more leverage. But that's like the thing, what I think we need to overcome. So like providing on social media, the customer support, and being able to verify that we are really talking to the right person, that we can then in the user account, in the exchange account, really do the changes. Because the worst thing what can happen when somebody writes to us, please approve my transaction on social media, we approve it, and then it was like somebody else. And usually the current solution, what every customer support team is doing, like writing them, please submit a ticket, write us an email. And this is just like too much effort and people hate it.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. It's everything is developing, and especially the customer support and customer experience is kind of like you have to like gauge where along in the customer journey, and usually people go to customer support if they once everything fails, and so it's quite a interesting industry, and if you can really dominate this market, you can position your company to do better. Which companies are, in your opinion, or is doing the best support, and why?
So to give a very cheesy answer, of course, it was Bitpanda because I set it up there, the customer support. No, just kidding. Of course, I have to say that. Example for amazing customer experience, maybe companies who everybody knows are Starbucks and McDonald's. We all know Starbucks are not selling the best coffee in the world, and McDonald's are not selling the best burgers in the world. But what we know, like for instance, when we go to a Starbucks, we get like our coffee, like it makes the job. And also we go there and they write our name on the cup. So we have the personalization. Sometimes we write a funny name on it and we giggle and even have fun. And then we pay an overpriced price on coffee of like $5 or $6 on like one cup or whatever. So I think Starbucks is doing like a great customer experience also with like simple things as providing WLAN or like wireless network to all the customers. And I think the same is like with McDonald's. It's not like they are making the best burgers, but like no matter in which country you go and you order the Big Mac, it's always the same Big Mac, right? That's also why they make this Big Mac index to track inflation around the globe, because you know what you get and you will also not be disappointed. And the next thing in improving customer experience, especially at McDonald's, what they made, like these monitors where you can order. So they decreased stuff, and also they managed that like these people who are always on their phone and not really want to talk to real persons anymore can also skip that part of going there and to speak to a person and to bother there, and they just have the monitor and skip this whole part. So yeah, I think like Starbucks and McDonald's are two good examples, and also now to make the bridge to Web3, because that's what the audience want to hear. With Web3, Starbucks did an amazing job with the Odyssey, like the loyalty program. They made it like on Web3. I think they made it on the Polygon or on Matic. Yeah. And the thing was, the end user didn't realize it and didn't see that this has anything to do with crypto, but the Web3 community knew that this is running like on Web3. They were excited, made marketing of it. And the customer base who's maybe anti-crypto because they bought in 2017 or 2021, maybe the top because they had FOMO and now they don't want to hear something about crypto. They see the normal loyalty program and they don't think, oh no, now Starbucks is trying to scam me also with crypto stuff. Right?
Yeah, exactly. It's funny because crypto gets a bad rap because I think the media touts it because they want to focus on the speculative part and they want to focus on the scams and the fraud, and then they never talk about the innovation, so it confuses the people. But I think what's going to happen for mainstream is like the big brands like Starbucks or Puma, Nike, when they or Reddit, Instagram, when they start incorporating all of these NFTs into it and try to onboard people for real use case, and that's when it's gonna take off. But we still early, so
yeah. And also one thing what drives me crazy with crypto, especially in Germany we are very obsessed with the environment, as you can see, like the green parties even in the government, so people love to care about the environment. The thing is, with Bitcoin, they always say like, it's bad for the environment and so on. I mean, like, okay, they got some points, but energy, how it's created is usually neutral. You cannot say like what type of energy was put in. But now we have this trend with AI and ChatGPT, and nobody is talking about that. Like with AI, you also have to use a lot of energy.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
Yeah, it's I think it's a lot of misinformation. It reminds me of the tobacco companies, and then now the gun companies, and now the automobile companies, everything around like climate change, cancer, and all this, and it's quite interesting. And then but Texas is doing a lot of work with the energy grid, trying to incorporate Bitcoin as kind of like storage. It's in fascinating what types of work is being done. So
Yeah. I mean, there are also ways sometimes where like energy is just thrown away or not used for anything. And then they could use that energy to mine Bitcoin to get like some return instead of like losing money. And one of the craziest story what I ever heard like was like at some Bitcoin meetup in Munich like a few years ago, where one guy explained that they put it like a lot of miners beyond a school, below a school in Romania to heat it. There was like this heat coming out of the miners, and they just used it and recycled it to heat the buildings.
Yeah, I love this conversation. As we wrap up, what's your latest obsession? Preferably from a personal point of view, and how can people contact you, get in touch with you, check you out?
Yeah, so latest obsession, as it always was, always be like customer service, because I think it's a great thing when you can make out a living of like actually helping people. They appreciate it. So of course, I'm not doing this like without any self-interest. Let's be honest about it. So people can find me on LinkedIn. I post there daily on topics as like customer service, customer success, community management, AI, and Web3. So please make sure to follow me there. And you can like write me a DM, and also you can reach me on my website. It's Web3, I repeat, Web3CX.io. And as I said in the beginning, we offer like mainly 4 services for our customer. One is like ROI management, the other one is customer retention, then customer acquisition, and also like the ease of use of service, especially like the keyword here is like customer effort.
Yeah. And let's for all the audience out there, this is the cutting edge. Again, there's a difference between speculation and utility. We're talking about utility, real use cases. So keep that in mind. This is all educational information purposes. Be sure to follow Clemens on all of his social, especially LinkedIn, and all of his resources will be in the links and show notes. And with that, thanks so much, Clemens. It was a fantastic conversation, and it's really a small world.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Christopher. It was really enjoyable talk, and I hope your audience will like the podcast.
I hope you really enjoyed that wonderful, inspirational, motivational piece. Again, wherever you are listening, if you liked it, be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. We're on everywhere: Spotify, iTunes, Google, Amazon, Audible. And without much ado, be sure to thank this show's sponsors, and we'll see you next week.